Welcome to Goodness Gracious Gluten-Free's YouTube channel. I'm Michelle. Here you will find gluten-free recipes, lifestyle tips, and everything about living gluten-free. Hey there, today I want to talk to you a little bit about my Nema Sensor so that you can have a better understanding of how it works and what it does for anybody who doesn't have one. This has been my lifesaver since I got it. It has saved me so many times from eating either packaged food or at restaurants or friends' houses that accidentally had cross-contamination, or the packaged food wasn't labeled gluten-free but it didn't have any gluten ingredients in it, or even from items that were certified gluten-free that tested positive for gluten. I have been feeling so much better since having my Nema, and I honestly don't know how I could live without it. So I wanted to show you a few things. I have 3 new ingredients that I'm going to be using that I've never tested before. So I wanted to show you how I do it and how careful I am to make sure that I don't cross-contaminate it somehow, even though we have no gluten in our house. I wash my hands, I make sure my counters are washed, all of the utensils and cutting boards and new knives, everything has been washed before I do a test. And if something tests positive for gluten, I go back and I re-clean the whole area again before I do another test. So this is my Nema. I'll put Nema facing this way so you can see the test as it's going. I think you can see it from there. And then the first thing we're going to test is this new pasta sauce that I got. And it is Organico Bello, gluten-free, no sugar added, organic marinara. And it says gluten-free on it. It is not certified that I can tell by anybody, any of the certification agencies. So I wanted to test it. And I have my handy dandy little tiny spatula here, because you don't need very much to put in your Nema to test it. Now let's see if I can get it open. Woo! First try. So here's my Nema Capsule, and it's in a sealed package that comes right from Nema. So you open it, and it has some preservative in there for it. And to me, the best way I explain this to like restaurants and other people is it's like a pregnancy test for gluten. There are enzymes in the capsule that release when you screw the lid back on that react with the food and cause a pattern here, like just on a pregnancy test. And then when you put it on the computer reads the little pattern on the back of it and tells you whether or not there's gluten found. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take my clean spatula and we're going to take just a little bit of pasta sauce. And every consistency of food is different, I've found from using Nema. Like if you're testing something crunchy like a chip, I find that it's really good if I add a couple of drops of water in with it. But for pasta sauce, it's soft and squishy, so I don't have to worry about that. So I put it right in the capsule, and this is going to go in my sink. And I screw the lid on until I hear a little click noise, and that's the enzymes releasing into the capsule. And I make sure that the lid is nice and even, and then it slides. It's backwards for me because I usually do it the other way. It slides right into Nema, and I push the button, and then it'll start the test. And it takes about 3 minutes for the results to come up. So leave that one sitting there while it waits. And I am lucky to have 2 Nema testers because my daughter also uses one. So we're going to test one of the other items while we're waiting for this one to test at the same time. So clean cutting board. And this is Walmart's almond bark vanilla flavored coating. I'm making some cute dipped Rice Krispie treats for Halloween into little ghosts. So I wanted to use almond bark, but this isn't labeled gluten-free. From the ingredients, it doesn't say that it contains gluten. It says it contains milk and soy. But I just want to test it just to make sure that it's going to be safe for our family to eat. So here we go. So since this is a thicker, harder item, I have to make sure that I shave it off with a knife and just put a little bit of the shavings into the container. You don't want to put a big hard chunk in there or the teeth in Nema will get clogged and it'll give you an error. Okay, so same thing, open the capsule and shaving off tiny little pieces of chocolate. And I'm not touching anything with my fingers, just to make sure that there's nothing, because I touched the pasta sauce spatula, but I didn't actually touch the sauce, so I couldn't be contaminating the two tests. So a little piece of chocolate, little pieces of chocolate. Easier said than done. Go into my Nema. Okay, and I'll leave that sit like that. Same thing. Lid goes on until I hear a pop. And it's even, and then it goes into Nema the other way. There we go, and then we'll start it. Okay, and now that will take 3 minutes as well. So now we just wait and see what the results were. And then the last thing I want to test are these really cute Wilton eyeballs for my little ghosts that I'm going to be making for Halloween, because they don't say anything on them about gluten-free or made with allergens or anything. I didn't have a website to look yet to see if they say anything on there. So we'll test those next. So my battery died in the middle of that test, but as you can see, the pasta sauce came back with a smiley face, which means that there's no gluten found, which is good. Sorry I missed that for you. Hopefully you'll get to see how it comes up with Nema on the white chocolate right here, and then with the eyeballs, which we'll do next. So I'll move this out of the way, since we know that one's safe. And the Nema Capsule is all used, so this just goes in the garbage now. Okay, so clean cutting board. We're gonna have to chop up an eyeball. Sounds awful, but it's just the way it is. This packaging is really hard to get into. So I'm a little worried about what the adhesive is on the packaging, so I'm gonna wash my hands again before we do this test. Another clean knife and another Nema Capsule. That one's still thinking. I try not to touch it because sometimes if you move Nema around while it's testing, it gives you a test error as well. Okay, clean hands, clean fingers, clean knife, clean capsule. So I'm gonna chop this up and try it so there's a little bit of black coloring in the middle, but this is a really hard candy, so I'm gonna have to shave it a little bit down because Nema will be unhappy with the amount of crunchiness that's in it. It will clog it. So I'm gonna shave it with my sharp knife. Okay, then I'll scrape it off the counter and put it into the testing container. Okay, so now it goes into the container till you hear a click, and then shut it even. Sometimes it's a little hard, you have to use your muscles. And then into the tester and start. And we'll see what that says in just a few minutes. While I was throwing the capsules away, the white chocolate came back with a smiley face, so that's good. 2 things so far have tested safe. And that's as easy as it is to use your Nema, and you'll get the feel for different consistency of foods. Like I know if I'm testing pasta, it has to be a smaller sample, and I try to chop it up a little bit instead of putting a big piece of macaroni or something into the Nema Capsule. And that's if it's cooked. If it's dry macaroni, it's even harder to test. If it's dry macaroni, you'll have to cut it up more fine so that it doesn't clog the capsule. But stickier consistency, things like peanut butter or almond butter, you just need a little bit, and you can even like thin it out with a little bit of water. Nema's not gonna miss it for the gluten. So we'll wait for the 3 minutes and see how these Wilton eyeballs come out. I love watching the progress bar on Nema as it goes along, and I get super excited as it gets to the end, even though I've been doing this since January. It still makes me excited to know whether or not I'm gonna be okay to eat food or not. And as you can see, the Nema smile popped up, which means that the Wilton eyeballs are safe to eat if you want to eat them. I personally am not going to eat them, but just in case you're making treats for people who need to be gluten-free, you'll know that they're okay to eat. So Nema smiles. And if you'd like to order your own Nema, you can use the code GGGF.me, which is the same as my blog address. and that will give you a discount of $15 off your Nema starter pack. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time on Goodness Gracious Gluten Free. I hope you liked what you saw, and if you did, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.